Hi, my name is John White, and I'm part of the leadership team of the Luke 10 community. Luke 10's mission, its passion, is to equip and connect Christian leaders around the world. We have a central core belief or value, and that is that God desires to have an intimate, personal, conversational relationship with each of his children. As John said, or as Jesus said in John 10, my sheep hear my voice. And it's our belief that all ministry and all leadership flow out of that place of listening, that place of dialogue with the Lord. Here's the story of one Christian leader whose life has been impacted by the ministry of the Luke 10 community.
So again, here with my friend Hugh Brandt, and Hugh is sort of a senior Campus Crusade staff member. He's been with Campus Crusade for 30 years and is involved in leadership on really the highest levels with the Global Cities team. And Hugh, if you would share a little bit about kind of what we've been talking about, of how Luke 10, our relationship, has been beneficial to you. We've been kind of hanging out for about 2 years. Kind of, where were you before in terms of your relationship with the Lord, and what's happened?
John, I would say, to be very succinct, I would say that my relationship could be illustrated by the relationship between an employer and an employee, or maybe a military commander with a private, where it was based on academic study, based on gathering information and better understanding things so I could communicate that truth to others, but not in a relational way, or not reflecting a loving relationship with my Heavenly Father. I would say that that's how my relationship with the Lord was before, and now my relationship with the Lord can be illustrated by a father-son, where my Father speaks to me every day, and as His Son, I listen to Him every day. I pay attention to what He's saying in such a variety of ways, and I then choose to obey what I hear Him say. And this is transforming my life, where I now look forward every day to meeting with Him and talking to Him in a more intense way in the morning, and then throughout the day. I feel like I'm more in line with what God is calling me to do. I'm living out my heart passion because God has been speaking to me through my heart. And I'm experiencing conversational intimacy with my Father like I never had before.
Wow.
But what also is significant for me, John, is that I believe that God speaks to us individually, but I also believe that God speaks to us all the time corporately, to where then a group of people, whether it's a group of house church planners, whether it's a group of Campus Crusade staff, whoever it might be, that as a group, if we go to listen, if we go to a point of listening to the Lord, that He speaks to us, that we then, as we listen, that we can come to consensus as to what He's calling us to do in mission, what He's calling us to do in worship, whatever it might do, whatever it might be. So I think that's a miracle.
So you've worked with the leadership team here in Denver, Campus Crusade leadership team of about 20 staff, like on retreats in different places, and taught them this principle of listening together, right?
Yes, and we have together taken time to go off and listen to God, then we come back together and we share that which we've heard. And what's almost remarkable is how He has spoken the same thing to many of us at the same time.
Yeah.
And how then quickly we can come to consensus as to say, this is what we believe God is saying to us as a community, and what He's calling us to do at this time.
And then you've taught these same principles about hearing God's voice to staff members around the world. You thought maybe several hundred.
And just in a very no intentional plan, just sharing that which I've been learning, which is important to me, which just comes out as I talk. It just comes out as an overflow. Yeah, I've talked with a lot of different fellow staff and many others too about the whole idea of we can listen to God, He speaks to us every day, and we can then obey what we've heard Him say. So it's been life-changing for me, and it seems from what people are telling me, it's changing their lives too.
Yeah, changing in some ways the culture of Campus Crusade to a degree.
In some ways, it's changing the culture of those people that I know, and yes.
And how did this transformational, life-changing kind of thing come about? What was the process that God used to build this into your life?
I think through friends like yourself, John, and others, learning the truth of listening to God, and that all aspects of life flow out of listening to Him. And then seeing it modeled by you, modeled by other members of the missional resource team I'm a part of, and seeing it modeled then by the larger Campus Crusade team I'm a part of here in Denver, to where I saw individuals modeling it, I saw a group modeling it. So learning the truth and seeing the truth being lived out day after day in front of me, and I get to practice it with others, that has brought about life change for me.
So Luke 10 is
new disciplines.
Luke 10 has been a significant part of that transformation.
Luke 10 has been a significant part. That the MRT has flowed out of Luke 10, and I think what's been significant is Luke 10 is influencing people all around the world, but it's really influenced me and my fellow listeners here in Denver, that corporately we are listening to God for our city, and that's brought about such change in me and in them, and I believe bringing about change in Denver.
Yeah.
But Luke 10 has connected us together to be listening to God as a group right here in Denver.
So in our MRT, we would meet right here in Sojourner's Coffee Shop, and you and I and 2 or 3 other guys, and every week we take time right here to listen to God.
Yep.
And write what we hear, and then share, and out of that, ministry is flowing. So we get to kind of reinforce each other on a regular basis.
So we're practicing the very thing that we're talking about. Yeah. We're not just talking about it, we're actually doing it.
Yeah, amen. Great. Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you, John.